What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Two Game Podcast, where we are continuing our review series of The Last of Us Season 2. We're here to review episode number 5. I am joined by Nick Ziegler. How are you, sir?
Howdy. I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm fine. It's weird double recording, you know.
I know, it's like I just saw you.
It's still yeah. Like I already asked you how you were in the other recording. It never, like, it doesn't ever not feel weird to me when I do it like that.
Natural.
Yeah. It always feels awkward. So we'll just cut to the chase. We are here to review episode number 5 from season 2. If you have not watched through episode 5, highly recommend pushing pause and then coming back once you have caught up, because we will be talking about full spoilers from this point forward. As I mentioned on the last episode review, I'm very intrigued by Nick's impressions of some of these characters, considering he has not played the game. I have played the game, parts 1 and part 2. Love both of those games. So it's gonna be I'm interested to see what who has not played the game, their opinion of these characters, specifically Ellie. But we'll get into Ellie in just a few minutes. Overall, sir, how do you feel about episode 5?
I liked episode 5, mainly because of the suspense factor, and pretty much the majority of the episode, you were kind of on edge. Or really, I guess the middle half of the episode, you were on edge for a few different scenes. But I liked it. I liked the way it ended. Adds a new kind of infected into the mix that we weren't really aware of before, and they had some foreshadowing of things to come in the beginning of the episode that played out very well and had a nice, eerie, creepy environment to it. Good scenery. Good. They did a really good job building that world.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of had
very good set design.
Yeah, it had a good, or kind of reminded me of a little bit of the Silent Hill movie. Whenever you go into that aspect and you just see all the ash just covering everything and floating through the air and whatever, had that essence to it.
So I don't know if you know this, the spores were in part 1. Like that's something that was established at the very beginning of part 1.
Oh, but not part 1 in the series TV show.
Yes, not season 1.
Okay.
So this is introduced much later than it ever was in the video games. And I believe they said they didn't know how to bring it forward, like, practically and make it make sense in this world. Whereas like a video game, it could make some sense, you know? I think that's why they did it. I could be wrong on that. But I liked how they introduced this. You know, they say there's been infected down in those basements for years, and they kind of just evolve from there, and they're breathing out these spores. I thought it was pretty cool.
I did. What was it?
Because in the first
boss
game,
lady, though, what's her name? Hanrahan? Is that her? Was she the one in charge of that building?
I'm not familiar. Yeah, that sounds about right. You asked me about the one character I don't remember the name of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm over here recapping the entire episode for you like just 20 minutes ago. I'm naming off all these names.
I got Google pulled up right now so I could read it. I can't see her in anything anymore because of the one character she played when I was in college, and she was on Waiting. And that is just the only character I can see her as. So seeing her, first off, a lot older now, and then playing this serious individual just throws me off, because I am used to her being the angry waitress that lifts her skirt up in the middle of the restaurant and is picking crumbs out of her pubic hair.
Dude, I haven't seen Waiting in 15, 20 years. It's been a long fucking time.
It's been a minute, but that scene stuck. So
can't see her in anything else, huh?
Nothing.
So yeah, the spores in the game, you have to go through the they had to put mask on. Like they put mask on for Ellie so people wouldn't find out that she was immune and stuff like that. So I thought this was really cool to kind of introduce it into this episode and the way they did it. I don't mind it at all. Kind of makes sense. Feels right with this world. But overall, I thought this was a great episode. A great episode.
Indeed.
I have two complaints, and
I
one
have
is
I have one complaint. Well,
one complaint.
I have one complaint that I think matches your.
Okay. One of my complaints is Ellie, which we've kind of talked about briefly on the past episode review. My other complaint is almost the exact same complaint that I had with episode 2, the episode that Joel died. Was that episode 2? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think this should have been 2 episodes.
Oh, you think this went too quick?
Yeah. So we'll talk about this before we jump into Ellie. They're going into this warehouse. We see them with the infected. Cool scene. Doesn't last a lot of time, right? Then Jesse shows up, and then they lead into the forest with the Dina gets shot in the leg with an arrow. They split off. She ends up going to the hospital, just conveniently to the hospital. Gets into the hospital, no fucking problem.
Very easily. They're like, oh, it was just a wild animal, and that's what triggered the dogs. Don't worry, we don't have to look further into it. There's no way there's no way a person could have fit in that hole.
Right. And when she meets Nora, who was one of the characters that was there when Joel got murdered, she says intruder, intruder, and they are shooting worse than fucking stormtroopers here, dude. And then
and not giving chase.
Not giving chase until they're already down into the fucking basement. Like,
right.
Guys, you're a little behind. So to me, all of that happened so fucking fast. Now, obviously, this all happens in greater lengths in the game. You can't make this episode fucking 3 hours long. I understand that. But I do think they could have split this into made the Scar stuff a majority of an episode. I mean, I don't know how they could have done it, but it felt rushed, especially towards the end. That is one of my favorite sequences from part 2 is when she finds Nora and she's like, where's Abby? And she beats the shit out of him. That scene is so fucking good in the game.
I agree. I think they could have ended in the woods.
Yes.
You know, or like they saw the scars. They saw the scars gut the wolf person and even have Dina get shot. And then end it there with them splitting up. And then next episode, we could have Ellie find the hospital and start trying to infiltrate into the hospital and then have her interactions with Nora.
Yes. Yeah. That makes more sense than anything that I had in my head.
Honestly, I thought whenever when we saw the hospital, I thought that's how it was going to end because the screen went black for a minute and I was like, okay, next episode. And no, it just kept on going.
Same. And when it started bringing the Nora stuff, I was like, oh my God, they're doing that. Looked at how much time was left in the episode. I was like 7-10 minutes. God damn, that ain't much time at all. And y'all are fucking rushing through this, which again, go if you have not played the game, just search for on TikTok Ellie versus Nora interrogation scene or something along those lines. And that scene is so fucking good in the game. And the fact is that they rushed through this to meet a runtime. And like you said, they could have stopped in the forest, throw in some scars in there to make it more tense and get some horror vibes going in there. Make her kill some scars. I don't know. They're all pretty, I don't know. They're just throwaway characters at this point. Just fucking kill some,
Well,
create that tension.
Then,
but somehow you can't.
How worthless are they?
They live 2 seconds.
Ellie she hides in a tree.
She was covered with her jacket.
They had lights. They could have looked.
And her hood.
I mean, right. Fuck, man. Again, convenient. Oh, there's a hole in a tree that I'm going to hide in and no one's going to look for.
And then the hole in the wall.
in the hole in the wall.
Imagine that.
And then she wanders into the hospital, and the first person she encounters is the one she's looking for.
Exactly. So that's that is aside from the Ellie stuff, that is one of my biggest complaints of this episode. It should have been 2 episodes. Honestly, this season was what is supposed to be 7 episodes. You can make the case that this should have been a 9-episode season. Just from what we've gotten so far.
No, can you believe? I just found out it's supposed to be 7 episodes, and I'm like, y'all, we waited 2.5 years, and you're not even giving us a full streaming season now. You're cutting it down even shorter for 7 episodes.
This reminds me of like Attack on Titan. This is Attack on Titan. You're cutting down the episodes, making it like 4 different parts, and you're making me have to wait 2 years in between each part. It's bullshit, man.
Fix it.
Bullshit.
It is. I hate streaming services television.
So let's talk about Ellie. Okay.
All right.
Ellie. I think now I can go a little bit more in depth on this episode versus the last episode, because this is really where the problems start taking place for me with Ellie's character.
Can I jump in here first, since I don't know her, and I'll just give you my beef about her so far?
All right. Yeah, go ahead. I think that's best. Actually.
What has she been doing for the last 5 years?
Are you genuinely asking me?
No, like seriously, like no, it's rhetorical. What the fuck has she been doing? Because she hasn't learned how to read a fucking map, so she doesn't know how to do directions or anything. Dina knows how to do that. Dina is listening to the radio traffic, and she is mapping out where all of the wolf patrols are and where all of the checkpoints are and everything else like that.
Which that happens in the game.
Does Dina do it, or does
Dina finds where everybody is? That does happen in the game.
All right. What did Joel not teach her? He literally did everything for her and never taught her anything to take care of herself.
Yeah. Is that the
That's my gripe.
You want me to offer to my okay. I think this is a blatant misunderstanding of the character, and they have not written Ellie's character well at all this season, and you are bringing my complaints up to the forefront here, because they are making Ellie seem absolutely fucking stupid. Like she is incompetent. She's some character that's just been sitting in her ivory tower eating bonbons, and then she gets thrown out into the wilderness and she doesn't know what the fuck to do, And that's not her character whatsoever. I'm going to be honest with you. She's a fucking badass in part 1 and part 2 of the game. The way they have portrayed her character so far is they are making her not badass. She just seems like like you said on the previous episode, an angsty child who has no life skills.
Not at all. She can maybe that kind of just goes
further.
And
other than that,
okay,
before I continue, wait, what was that?
I said, she can maybe shoot a gun. She is extremely arrogant and hot-headed, but she brings nothing to the table. I don't know how she thought she could ever accomplish this mission on her own to start with. I don't know.
I mean, it fucking works in the game.
Thought it was a good idea for her. But I'm assuming in the game she had some life skills.
She does. I'm telling you, she's a badass in the game. A fucking badass, bro. And again, do you before I continue with my criticisms of Ellie, do you have anything else that you would like to say? Or how do you feel about Ellie's character?
No, that's it. I'm annoyed by her because she's worthless.
Do you think, from a character development standpoint, from the 5 episodes that we have gotten, do you think that the writing, I guess, makes sense for her character up to this point?
No, until she's with Nora. When she's with Nora,
yes,
I think she was acting well. Or I think they had given her material to work with that was good.
Well, I'm not even talking in terms of acting. I'm talking just strictly like how they wrote the character, her development, and all that. Not even necessarily the acting.
No, they haven't. She hasn't developed at all. She's the same person.
Yeah, which kind of goes into why I think this is a blatant misunderstanding of the character, which is crazy to me because Neil Druckmann is fucking writing and creating this fucking show. So I don't understand what they're going for here. Now, could we very well be wrong and, some shit goes down in the next 2 episodes and things change? Sure. I've had that before. I forget what series it was that I had opinions of a character and like the first couple episodes. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, it was Daredevil Born Again. It was like this storyline is not working out for me. Now, to be fair, full disclaimer, Daredevil Born Again is not a good example of this um because of those issues. Um I don't think that was good writing whatsoever. And I'm gonna go to this where this she's just poorly written. I think Bella Ramsey was great for season 1 for what they needed her to do. For what they need from her in season 2, she has not been able to give them. And I don't. And we mentioned this on the last review, where I think maybe that could be why we have such a drastic change from the game to this show, because she just can't tap into that side of the character. If that's the case, they need to recast her. Um, I would be okay with it if they recast her for season 3 and move forward with someone else. I would just completely overlook it, but whatever. Um, here's the thing about Ellie. Okay, she is fueled by rage. She is fueled by revenge. This whole story of part 2 is the cycle of revenge and how it's kind of just endless. Um, I think it's weird that they use Dina to really fuel that revenge storyline with Ellie, with her story about like how her mom and her sister were killed, and that she wanted to, that if she was in Ellie's position, she would want to get them back and kill them for what they did to Joel.
Mm-hmm.
They're using Dina to further that storyline, and I don't like it because that's not really what happens in the game. Um, Ellie is always set on this path for revenge and her desire to kill Abby. She doesn't need Dina's help,
No, and
which
it was
she
like Dina was
witnessed.
trying to talk her into it because Ellie was ready to go back home and take Dina home and to keep her safe because she's pregnant now. She's like, we don't need to be here. We
Exactly.
it's okay. You can go home. I will go home with you. Like we can just stop.
That undermines the entire theme of part 2 with the game. And that is what I have a fucking problem with. She is ready to go back, raise this kid, and Dina, of all people, is like, nah, bro, let's go kill some folks. And it's
Right.
like, what? One, why do we have to convince Ellie to go on this path? She was already set on this path to begin with. She has everything that she needs to continue down this path of revenge. We shouldn't have to have Dina kind of push her along. And that is my biggest fucking problem with Ellie's character and this season as a whole. I think they nailed it with season 1. Season 2, I don't know what they thought they were doing with the writing with Ellie's character, but like we mentioned it previously, I think Dina is closer to being Ellie than fucking Ellie is.
I have an idea. I have an idea. Dina becomes immune because she got an STD from Ellie with the spores and everything while she's pregnant, and they can kill Dina off. I'm sorry, they can kill Ellie off, and Dina can now be the immune one that we have to carry through the show.
Dude, that is some like 15 seasons of supernatural type bullshit right there. And I respect it. Okay, I respect it.
Hey, I've powered through that series twice, so
It's fucking good, man. Hey, the Scooby-Doo episode, top 5 episodes of TV all time. So yeah, that is why I have issues with Ellie's character here. It's just because, and this isn't even me trying to say that, oh, the game is better and all this. No, I look, I call it like it is. I point out when I like things from the show versus the game. Um, I love the games a lot. I don't have issues with part two that a lot of people do, but I don't know. I just feel like they just have. I don't know if they're watching like a. I don't even. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't explain how they go from season one to this to where Joel dies, and then this is the Ellie that we've gotten. I don't know if they put that through Chat GPT to figure out how to develop this character or whatever the fuck, but it's not working for me whatsoever.
And I don't know Ellie, so
Exactly. That's what I was curious. That's why I said I'm going to be interested to hear your thoughts on her as a character. Does it work for you as someone that has not played the games?
yeah, no, she's fallen flat until we see Nora.
Which again, the Nora scene, it's good, but the game is so much better with that tension. Now, I will say this, and this is another complaint of the series in general: weak sauce to not show Ellie killing Nora here. To end the episode, now they could very well the next episode start off with her beating the shit out of Nora, very well, but with what we've gotten right now, just talking through episode 5, they end it with a black screen with her hitting Nora. And it's just like, really? Like, the show is like the themes of the show: revenge, violence. It is a never ending cycle, but we're not going to fucking show the violence whatsoever.
We're not. We didn't show Joel get tortured and beaten to death. And now we're not seeing Nora being tortured and beaten to death. We didn't see Isaac actually shoot the scar.
This moment for Ellie when she is killing Nora, if I'm not mistaken, I could, if I am, drop me a comment below and I'll go fuck myself. This is her first chance at revenge against the people that killed Joel. We just undermined her revenge story by taking the violence out and not going through this scene with her. There is a huge moment right now where this is going to propel her forward with her revenge story, and we don't even see it at all. Like, I don't know why they're shying away from the violence, but I don't remember them being. I don't remember that being too much of a problem in season 1, but like season 2, they've just shied away from it so much. And like, this is a pivotal moment for her character, that she's going through this and she is legitimately beating the shit out of someone until they're dead.
Have we seen, now I'm trying to think now, have we seen in any kind of recent media where they're actually showing like deep violence and rage though? Or is that something that's kind of not
Mandela effect.
no, I'm saying, like, we had like Saw and Hostel and stuff when we were kids, but like in the modern era we really don't have that anymore. Is that one of those things that is kind of like shunned?
Maybe we're just desensitized to it and we don't even fucking remember now. Like, we just see it and we
I
don't even
don't
think
know.
twice about it. But when we don't see it, that's when we're like, oh wait, hold the fuck up.
Right, but I mean, maybe it's one of those things is like that's not what we're putting in television this decade. Like, that was 2 decades or 3 decades ago. This decade we're not doing that, because I mean, they go through spurts where like they have like that kind of stuff, and then they're like, okay, now every movie's gonna have this kind of stuff, and now every movie's gonna have this kind of stuff, and what we did before we can't do now. And if it's just something that this generation just doesn't tolerate.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some properties. I mean, Game of Thrones was violent.
But we didn't have torture. I mean, not really.
Are you sure? I mean, we had the Ramsey stuff.
Yeah, but that was like, you never got to. I mean, we heard it more than we saw it.
Well, shit, we didn't hear anything in here. We just went to a black screen.
Oh yeah,
I think it's pivotal for the character. Well, why the fuck can we get in a video game and not TV? It's HBO Max.
right. It's not like it's being broadcast on NBC. Like, this
I mean,
is
granted,
this is
you're not gonna
the
show porn, but Like,
Which again, it's HBO Max. I mean, they do. I mean,
yeah.
not necessarily porn, but you got a lot of nudity in HBO and in Stars and stuff like that. Like this is the platform where you can pretty much do or show anything. It always has been.
And they've just shied away from it here. I don't know the answer to your question there. I don't know if it's something that I just don't pick up on anymore unless I just don't see it. Um, I wouldn't think so. Like I think we still get violent scenes. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna think about that. But yeah, man. Ultimately, I think this episode is was really great. Um, it's just the Ellie stuff at this point. If Ellie was better of a character, I could put aside some of the other bullshit critiques that I have with the show. It's
Yeah.
really just Ellie and Bella Ramsey's portrayal and how she's written and all the whole 9 yards.
Which
I
really
just
sucks because she's supposed to be the center of the show, and when you have the main star dragging you down,
yeah, I just I don't understand why or how they're fucking it up so much because Neil Druckmann, who directed the fucking game, is on the fucking show. Like, I don't know if it's just them trying to change things up from the game to the TV show. I know they mention it several times that they have to do things differently for the TV show versus the game, which I completely understand. Like, you're not gonna be able to do 1-to-1 um, from the game to the TV show, but you can fucking write the character the same. Like that doesn't
right?
really have any effect on what property it is. So that's my issue. Have you watched episode 6 yet?
I have.
Okay. I
Have
haven't
you?
watched it yet. No, I have
No.
not. I stopped. I stopped. I had to
It
watch some
breaks your heart.
anime for tomorrow, and I decided to wait for episode 6.
It breaks your heart a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
A
I
little
heard
bit.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But guys, let us know down in the comments below how you feel about episode number 5. Are you jiving with it? You not? Do you have issues with Ellie? Do you not? Let us know down below. And while you're there, hit that like, subscribe button. Really helps us out. And yeah, we will catch y'all next time on the next episode review. And sir, I will talk to you later.
Later, sir.
Latest.